If you're over 60, I want you to stop what you're doing and listen closely. What if I told you that 5 seemingly harmless things you do each morning could be silently setting the stage for a major health event in your brain? I'm not talking about rare, obvious dangers. I'm talking about common, everyday rituals that most people have no idea could be dramatically increasing their risk of a stroke. Research shows there's a dangerous window for stroke, and it's in the first few hours after you wake up. As a health researcher, my goal is to bring you science that can save a life. Today, we're going to expose these 5 dangerous habits, all backed by evidence, and more importantly, I'll show you what top neurologists say you should be doing instead. The changes are simple, but their impact can be profound. And the first habit is one that almost everyone is guilty of. Every 40 seconds, someone in the United States has a stroke. But what a lot of people don't realize is that these events don't just happen randomly. There is a well-documented peak time for stroke, a danger zone that begins the moment you open your eyes. Some studies show that between 6 a.m. and noon, the risk of stroke can increase significantly. So why then? Well, your body goes through a huge shift when you wake up. Your blood pressure naturally surges, stress hormones like cortisol flood your system, and after a long night without any water, your blood is literally thicker. This combination can create a perfect storm inside your blood vessels. The good news is you have way more control than you might think. The fear of losing your independence, your memories, or your quality of life to a stroke is very real for millions. But the solutions aren't complicated or expensive. They're small, intentional shifts in your morning routine that can dismantle this risk piece by piece. So let's get into the first habit you might want to change starting tomorrow morning. What's the very first thing most people reach for in the morning? A cup of coffee. But neurologists will tell you that your brain doesn't want stimulation first. It wants circulation. Think about it. You've just gone 7, 8, maybe even 9 hours without a single drop of liquid. Your body loses a surprising amount of water overnight just from breathing and sweating. This is especially critical for anyone over 60. As we age, our body's total water content decreases, and our sense of thirst isn't as sharp as it used to be. So you can be mildly dehydrated without even feeling thirsty. This morning, dehydration is a major hidden danger. When you're dehydrated, your blood volume drops and your blood becomes thicker and more viscous. Now picture your arteries, which might already be a bit less flexible or narrowed, trying to pump this thicker, sludgy blood. It's like trying to pump this thicker, your heart has to work harder, which can spike your blood pressure, and that thicker blood is more likely to form a clot, the very thing that causes the most common type of stroke. Studies have shown that poor hydration is a contributing factor in many strokes. The solution couldn't be simpler. Make water the very first thing that passes your lips in the morning. Before the coffee, before tea, before anything else, drink a full glass of water. Top neurologists and longevity experts often recommend drinking at least one 8 to 12 ounce glass of room temperature or warm water within the first 15 minutes of waking. Why not ice cold? Because warm or tepid water is absorbed easily and helps to gently wake up your digestive system without being a shock to your body. This one act does several crucial things at once. It immediately starts to rehydrate you, thinning your blood back to a safer consistency, which reduces the strain on your heart and lowers the risk of a clot forming. It also helps stabilize your blood pressure during that vulnerable morning surge. This isn't just about quenching thirst. It's about giving your brain the safe fluid circulation it needs to start the day. The alarm rings and you jump out of bed, ready to start the day. That might feel productive, but for anyone over 60, it can be one of the riskiest moves you make all day. This is because of something called orthostatic hypotension, which is just a technical way of saying a sudden drop in blood pressure when you stand up. Here's what's happening. When you're lying down, blood is distributed pretty evenly through your body. When you stand up fast, gravity yanks a bunch of that blood down to your legs and belly. In a younger person, a lightning-fast reflex kicks in, telling the heart to beat faster and blood vessels to tighten, pushing blood right back up to the brain. With age, though, that reflex can get a little sluggish. Blood vessels might be stiffer, and the body's response is slower. The result? For a few critical seconds, your brain can be starved of the oxygenated blood it needs. This is what causes that familiar head rush, dizziness, or seeing stars. For older adults, this isn't just a moment of grogginess. It's a vascular warning sign. This brief period of reduced blood flow puts unnecessary stress on your system and increases your risk of a fall, which can have devastating consequences. The expert recommended alternative is a simple technique, sometimes called soft standing, or the dangle method. It's a 3-step process that gives your body the time it needs to adjust safely. First, when you wake up, don't sit up right away. Just lie there for a moment and take a few deep breaths. Second, slowly push yourself up to a seated position on the edge of the bed. Now just sit there. Let your feet dangle for at least 30 to 60 seconds. This is the most important part. While you're sitting, you can pump your ankles a few times to get the blood moving from your legs back up toward your heart. Third, place your hands on your knees or a sturdy nightstand and slowly push yourself up to a standing position. Pause for just a second before you start walking. This easy 1-minute routine lets your circulatory system catch up to your change in posture. It ensures your brain gets a steady, safe supply of blood and oxygen and dramatically reduces the risk of a fall or a dangerous blood pressure drop in the morning. Your phone alarm goes off, you grab it, and what's the very next thing you do? If you're like millions of people, you immediately start scrolling through emails, news headlines, or social media. This habit feels normal and connected, but neurologically it can be a trap. When you hit your brain with a flood of information, first thing, especially stressful news, a demanding work email, or emotionally charged posts, you're basically kicking your body's fight or flight response into high gear. This releases a wave of stress hormones, especially cortisol. Now, cortisol is naturally highest in the morning to help you wake up, but that digital ambush creates an unhealthy, exaggerated spike. Chronically high cortisol is linked to high blood pressure and an increased risk of cardiovascular events, including stroke, because it causes your blood vessels to tighten and constrict. Combine those constricted arteries with the already high morning blood pressure and thicker blood, and you've created a high pressure system inside your body. The advice from neurologists here is unanimous. Create a no-phone buffer zone in your morning. Just decide that you won't check your phone for at least the first 30 minutes, or ideally the first hour of your day. So what do you do instead? You replace a habit that creates stress with one that creates calm. This is your time to connect with yourself, not the entire world. After you've had your water and done your slow stand up, maybe try one of these. Do a few minutes of gentle stretching. Sit by a window with your coffee and just watch the world wake up. Practice a few moments of quiet mindfulness, or think of 3 things you're grateful for. Listen to some calm instrumental music By starting your day in a state of calm instead of a state of alarm, you help keep your cortisol and blood pressure in a healthier range. You're protecting your blood vessels from that dangerous constriction that contributes to stroke. A lot of people, especially over 60, say they just don't feel hungry in the morning, so they skip breakfast and run on coffee until lunch. But a large body of research, including a major Japanese study published in the journal Stroke, shows that regularly skipping breakfast is strongly associated with a higher risk of cardiovascular disease and specifically a much higher risk of stroke. One study found that people who consistently skipped breakfast had a significantly higher risk of dying from a stroke compared to those who ate breakfast daily. Here's why. When you skip breakfast after fasting all night, your blood sugar can drop. Your body reads this as an emergency and releases stress hormones to compensate, which, as we just learned, raises your blood pressure. On top of that, studies show that skipping breakfast is linked to higher cholesterol levels and can even make your blood platelets a bit stickier, which increases the chance of a clot. It just throws your body's blood sugar and blood pressure regulation out of whack for the entire day. The fix isn't to force down a giant meal if you're not hungry. It's to have a small, balanced, brain-healthy breakfast within an hour or two of waking up. Neurologists often recommend breakfasts that follow the principles of the DASH or Mediterranean diets, which are proven to help lower blood pressure. This means trying to avoid the usual breakfast traps like sugary cereals, pastries, and processed meats. Instead, you want to opt for something rich in fiber, potassium, and healthy fats. A few great examples would be a small bowl of oatmeal with berries and a few nuts, Greek yogurt with some sliced fruit, a piece of whole wheat toast with avocado, and an egg. Eating a balanced breakfast like this helps to stabilize your blood sugar, regulate your blood pressure, and give your brain the steady energy it needs to work its best, effectively disarming another major morning stroke trigger. This last habit is maybe the most direct and dangerous of all: forgetting to take your prescribed morning medications, especially for high blood pressure or a heart condition. It sounds so simple, but national data shows that up to half of all medications for chronic diseases aren't taken the way they're prescribed. Here's why this is so critical in the morning. Blood pressure medications are specifically timed and prescribed to fight back against your body's natural morning blood pressure surge. When you miss a dose, you are leaving your brain and heart completely unprotected during their most vulnerable hours. That single missed dose can allow your blood pressure to spike into the danger zone, seriously increasing your risk for both a stroke from a clot or a stroke from a ruptured blood vessel. So many people think, well, I feel fine. It's probably okay to miss one day. But high blood pressure is called the silent killer for a reason. You don't feel it until it's too late. The solution here is all about creating a system that's practically foolproof. Neurologists will tell you that consistency is everything. First, make taking your medication a non-negotiable part of your routine. The easiest way to do this is with habit stacking. You link taking your pills to a habit you already do without fail. For instance, after I finish my first glass of water, I will take my medication. Second, use physical reminders. A 7-day pill organizer is one of the best tools ever invented for this. You fill it once a week, and a quick glance tells you instantly if you've taken your pills today. No more guessing. Third, Use an alarm on your phone. Set a daily alarm with a specific label like "Take blood pressure pills." Don't just swipe it away. Get up and take them the moment it goes off. And finally, never, ever stop taking a prescribed medication without talking to your doctor. Sticking to your medication schedule isn't just a friendly suggestion. It is one of the most powerful stroke prevention tools you have. So let's do a quick recap of the 5 habits and their life-saving fixes. Instead of coffee first, start with a glass of water to hydrate your brain. Instead of jumping out of bed, use the soft standing method to stabilize your blood pressure. Instead of checking your phone, take 30 digital-free minutes to lower your stress. Instead of skipping breakfast, have a small, balanced meal to fuel your brain. Instead of forgetting your meds, create a foolproof system so you take them consistently. These aren't about adding big, complicated chores to your morning. They're about making small, powerful choices. You have the power to take control of your health, to protect your brain, and to make sure your mornings are a time of peace, not a time of risk. If you found this information valuable, please hit that like button. It really helps. Tell YouTube to share this video with more people who need to see it. And be sure to subscribe to the channel for more science-backed health advice to help you age strong and stay sharp. Most importantly, please share this video. Send it to a parent, a partner, a friend, anyone over 60 that you care about. This information could truly save a life. And now for our community. What is one healthy morning ritual that you absolutely swear by? Share it in the comments below. Your tip might just be the one that inspires someone else to make a positive change. Thanks for watching, and here's to a safer, healthier morning tomorrow. Well, as life about divine timings, there's a lot that goes into this